Yes. All right, I'm sideways. My phone's been doing this really weird thing just to like freak me out on the live and try to get me to like do something crazy. But anyway, it's hashtag crazy cat here, and I have my phone going the right way, and I'm going to get my Brainiac friend on, and hopefully everybody else comes back because we had some people on. All right, Miss Brainiac is coming on. You are going to absolutely love this. It's from this book on cash flow. Very important topic for all of us. It's not letting me tag her, so I already have her on, I guess. So let me just see if she's showing up. Oh my goodness, I'm all kinds of technically challenged today. I think I got her. The phone works. It'll be like amazing. Hi, Christina. How are you? Hello. Is she, darling? Hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, you got on last time. I was like, oh, just I clearly my video skills lately have been less than stellar. So.
Well, my phone does this thing where you know how you're supposed to have it sideways first, but then it like goes, turn your phone, and if it starts that, I might as well just get out and do it again because it's not registering, and I'm like, forget it, we'll start again. Yep. It's all right.
Yep.
It's all
video. My live yesterday, same thing. Is what it is.
It is as it is.
It is what it is.
Right. Yay! I'm so excited. Hashtag crazy cat here with you from the farm.
Hashtag fuel for your brain.
Hashtag fuel for your brain. Here for you, with you, and on the farm in South Carolina, and super excited with my brainiac friend. Hashtag fuel for your brain, Nicole. And I finally get to meet her in person at Summit. I'm so excited.
Can't wait.
She has something really exciting for us today. You guys are going to learn so much. You're going to love it. And it's all about boxes. So we're going to start out by because I'm really curious. She was showing me pictures, and I'm like, I can't wait.
Me and my demonstration speeches, you know.
Yeah. So what box? So we're in a box. So what box are we getting out of, and what are we getting into? Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to learn today?
Yes, thank you. And it's so much fun to be on lives with you, Kat. Fun facts. Here we go. Okay, so I've read and listened to probably, a couple different times Robert Kiyosaki's 2 of his books. One is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I highly recommend that if you've never read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it will open your eyes to kind of what the background, the meat of all of his education and how he became a multi-billionaire. The second one is his book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And that's kind of what I'm touching on today, is just to kind of give you a little piece of information so that you kind of know where you are. And if you're kind of stuck, you're feeling like maybe where you're at right now isn't necessarily where you want to be, but it's not that easy to just jump from one quadrant to another. So the first quadrant is this box right here, which is an employee box. It's not a bad box, right? I mean, if you really love what you're doing and you've gone to school, you've got an education in something, you've got a license in something, you really knew what it is that you wanted to do, and you went and you got into this box. And this is a good box for some, right? And you gave a statistic last week about the people who are in this box generally live paycheck to paycheck, right? So it's not a bad box. Again, if you really love what you do, it's awesome. And most of us don't hate our jobs, right? I mean, it's a roof over our head, bills are paid, but you're living paycheck to paycheck. The job owns you, right?
Yep.
So on average, you don't really have an opportunity to leverage your wealth in any way unless you have a 401k and hopefully that does well. A whole nother discussion. Hopefully you have some, small investments that are earning some interest for you. But most people, and there's like maybe 5% of employees that actually are able to leverage a little bit of their income, and that's not very many. If you have a retirement plan and you've been fortunate to work for a company that has a really good retirement plan, again, there's probably about 5% of employees, those that work for other people, that have an opportunity to do that. And that's one way of bringing income into your life, right? There's 4 ways. One is getting a job and working for someone else. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, right? So and the second way is to be self-employed. Now, my husband and I are self-employed, or he's rather, self-employed, has his own business. And a lot of people who go to work, go to school for advanced educations and things like that, they'll go to open their own business, right? They've invested a lot of time in education. They've invested some money to start up their own business, whatever that might be. It could be traditional accounting firm. It could be a traditional pick something. Give me some ideas. Businesses, right? There's hundreds of them, thousands, millions of businesses where people own their own business, and it's something they decided they wanted to do. And so this is one side of the quadrant, right? And it's the second way you can bring in some income into your family. And some people work for others and own their own business, right? And I'm not talking about, not own their own business, rather being self-employed. So let me clarify. So you can either be employed or self-employed. That's one side of the quadrant. Okay, so we have our employee and our self-employed box. This is one box. And to get out of this box or to add value to this box, there's something you can do to get into the next quadrant. So the next quadrant, I love boxes, right? Now, personally for me, let me give you a little background. I have a background in hospitality management, and I loved working in hotels. It was great. I did that for 11 years. I worked in property management for 15 years. I enjoyed that. That was fun. Put a roof over my head. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. I got some certifications. I got some licenses. And then I got out of the work field for a little while so I could figure out what I was going to do next. And I went back to work, went back to school. So you kind of have to be clear about what it is you want to do. If you're going to invest in education, you want to know what it is you're going to be getting out of it, right? So I've gone back to school twice. The first was to get more education in what I was already doing. I got a license so that I could advance my career, and these are all good things. It just turned out it wasn't something that aligned with who and what I wanted to do, right? So now I've gone back to school again, because now I know what I want to do. So so we've got this quadrant, this employee and this self-employed quadrant. So if you keep those, whether you're in one or both, and you want to jump over to the next quadrant, which is being a business owner, these are all good things too. Okay, being a business owner, if you're lucky, you find a business that has a system in place, right? A system that gives you all the training that you need to be able to be a success. So a really good example of a business that has really good systems are franchises. Franchises, when you buy them, while they're a large investment to get started, and not a lot of people who have been in the self-employed and or employed quadrant can jump right over to this, because it typically, if you're going into a franchise type business, it's going to take a lot of money to get involved in something like that, right? But the best part about them and what Robert Kiyosaki teaches, if you're going to do that, go get one that already has a system in place. So if this system can teach you, so that you have a less chance of failing, right?
Right.
I mean, that makes sense. Why spend hundreds of thousands or even millions or, whatever it takes to get into this quadrant? The third way to make money and bring cash into your life is to own your own business. Now, he says that with people, they help you leverage your time, right? In the self-employed and employed quadrant, it's you. You only have a finite number of hours a day, right? So we only have 24 hours a day, and as much as I would like to work 24 hours a day to earn the money, to make that kind of money, it's finite, right?
Got it.
Businesses help you leverage your time by using employees, right? So your employees or your partners or what have you leverage your time. So each of you are doing a little bit. If I'm a business owner, I go in, I put my 12 hours in, my employees put their 8 hours in, and then there's this cash flow that happens because of that, right? The other part of the quadrant is becoming an investor. This is the fourth way to make money. So there are only 5% of people in the United States who actually take some of that income and leverage it with investment, right? Big time stuff here. Now, so the reason I'm putting this in a picture for you in a box is because it's not so easy to get in when it has a lid on it, right?
Yep, true.
If it's closed, and it may be closed to you, so if you want to get into this box, you got to take the lid off, right?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
So how do you do that?
So how do you do that? Yeah, how do you do that?
So how you do that is you decide that, and you have to know that there's nothing inside this box. This is an empty box. And the reason this box is empty is because you have to find your path. You have to get on your path to find your purpose. If you really want this to count and not fail miserably,
yep,
you've got to build up. You have to build this up, right?
Yep.
You have to start putting some things in this box for these two things, right? For the business and the investment side to work for you and have less chance of failure. Now, you're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to fall down. You're going to bump your chin. You're going to scrub your knees. There's going to be some scabs. You might even break a few bones. But the bottom line is, if you don't grow and get into this box,
correct.
It's a journey, right, is what I'm trying to say. So
that sounds pretty awesome. So how do you do that? How do you learn to grow, and how do you find out what your life purpose is?
Oh, such a good question. So I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. So when I left the corporate world, which was about 5 years ago, I've been on this path because I needed to figure out what was going on. I really wanted to know what made me tick. Okay, I'm 48 years old, so at 45, here I am having sort of a midlife crisis, trying to figure out what aligned with what I really wanted to do. And no job fit, no work that I was doing was really bringing me joy. So I had to jump on this journey to personal development. So this is where the real education comes in. This is where this box gets really full, but it's going to take some work. So you got to take some personal development classes. Personal development classes are not ones that have accreditation. They're not ones you get grades for. They're not ones that you get to go, woohoo, I now finished this thing, look at me, it's going to help you, it's all about you. Personal development is all about you, your mental, emotional, spiritual growth. It's about really getting in here to here, and figure out what it is that really aligns with what you want to do. So you can go get a business. You can go buy a business, right? You can go buy one. You can go buy a franchise. You can go do something like that. In fact, you can even, and I'll touch on what we did last week, you were talking about a side hustle, right? A side hustle is only as good as you are. Your business growth only as good as you are. So, Kat, you talked about last week, so brilliant, my bean counter friend. Brilliant. Talking about the reasons why you would want to do a side hustle have so many benefits. And if you're watching this right now and you haven't had an opportunity to watch that video, we'd be happy to share that with you, just so you kind of have an idea of why you'd want to even think about doing a side hustle, adding into this ENS quadrant, right, the employee or self-employed quadrant. And why would you want to add something else? Because a side hustle, right, a home-based business, we affectionately call a side hustle, a home-based business puts you into this quadrant. You don't have to go spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars getting into something that's going to break you financially. To get into this, all you need is a side home-based business. And you get to take advantage of all the tax breaks, which again are cash flow issues, right? These are cash flow advantages. So if you can take advantage of that with a home-based business, and there are thousands of them, you gotta know through personal development what aligns with you. Because if you get involved, and you've seen this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. If you've ever been involved, seen someone who's been involved in a side hustle that just doesn't fit who they are, and what a struggle it is for them.
Yes.
Because if it doesn't align with what's important to you, or you hear people say, why do I have to sell a product? Ugh. Well, then products are probably not for you, unless those products align with something important to you, right?
Yes.
Right, your values. And there's thousands. I mean, if you're crafty, and I mean, there's craft ones, there's oils, there's nutritionals, there's even ones that help you do memory books and all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, There's a friend of mine that I work with. She does the ones that are like those cool bags. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like they're,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like those cool fancy bags, and you can monogram them and all that. And there's a niche for that. So if it's something that aligns with who you are and you really enjoy it, it's great.
Yep.
But again, your side hustle, your home-based business, and your growth of that business is only as good as your personal growth.
Absolutely.
So that's how you do it. You got to get into the process and find out what skills you need, and the person who helps you find that in life. You still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you're going to have to learn some skills in the process. You're going to have to get better at being your best self. You're going to have to dive in to why you want to do it. Because personal development courses like this can help you figure out what, right? And that's really important, because if you're going to, something that aligns with you, what you do aligns with who you are, then you can get down to the path of your life's purpose.
Yep.
Right? The path of your life's purpose
do you
is what
remember,
gives
like,
so
when
much
you were
satisfaction.
Did anybody ever ask you, like, way back before you realized you needed to be on a different path? They're like, well, what is your life purpose? And you kind of had that deer in the headlight look. It's like, oh my goodness.
What?
If somebody had asked me 2 years ago,
My
I'm
what?
like, I don't even know. They were like, if you could do anything, what would it be? And I'm like, I don't have a clue.
I don't know. It's
So
what
like
I'm doing.
Said, I love that. You really have to go inside of yourself, and working with a really, really awesome coach will help you do that, and being around other people who are going through that journey, because it's not an easy, I didn't find it to be an easy question to answer, and it took me quite a while to kind of figure it out myself. But when you do, you'll know it, because no matter what happens and who like says what about you, you'll just keep going anyway, because you know that you're going where you need to go. And it's like, right?
Amen,
Isn't it the coolest feeling ever?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my goodness, get
out
of my way.
But it takes time.
Oh yeah.
But it takes time. The challenge, and you and I were talking a little bit this morning about trust and trusting your own instincts. Trust is also a faith word, right?
Yes.
That's what you talked about this morning. That biblically speaking, trust, or the word faith means trust. Well, those are action words, right? These are things that resonate with us. You also got to get willing to overcome some fears.
Yep.
You have to be willing to go deep and figure out where all that comes from. Now, I'm not a life coach, but I am a coach that will help you discover why, right? We know a coach who can help you figure out the what, right? That's Kiwi. Kiwi can figure out the what, right? She can help you identify some vision. She can help you identify where it is that you want to go. She can even help you in the financial arena. She does a lot of things. She's quite amazing.
Yes, she is.
But that said, is to find out if you are happy in the quadrant that you're in, if you're happy in the employee, self-employed quadrant, trading time for dollars. Again, it's limited and finite, but those are all good things.
Yep.
I would highly encourage anyone watching that if they're going to stay in those quadrants, which is all fine, is that you take personal development courses.
Yes.
Because I know you have, and I have, over time, and I've been in home-based businesses now for quite a long time. And what I've found is the more personal development that I get into the meat of, the better quality employee I am.
Absolutely.
The better quality boss I am. And I thought I was a decent boss, but the more personal development that I took, the better boss I became. And I don't mean bossy. I mean relationally with my employees. I would say the last time that I was an employer, I had a great relationship with all of those folks.
Yep. Well, it's easier when you understand
I would say that
when you understand your own why, it's easier to understand other people's, and then you can relate to them on a deeper level, and then it helps them feel motivated, because they feel like you really care about them and what their purpose is. That's what I've found anyway. So then you get more efficient at work, so then you have more time for personal development, so you have more time to actually, like we talked about last week, build a retirement, because probably most of us aren't going to have one from just one job, because we're too stretched and stressed and don't make enough for the time and that sort of stuff. So,
Right. So would you say, Kat, would you say, based on our discussion from last week to this week, would you say, or how would you characterize a side hustle or a home-based business with relationship to planning for the future?
Oh, it's huge. I don't know how you don't at least have some sort of a side hustle. They have them in every aspect of life. I mean, let's just say you like makeup. Well, at least you can get some product for free, and you can. And the thing is that about the industry, I think is the best is that you're going to get the personal development, right? And the people who make the most money add the most value. And if you are making yourself better, you're going to add more value to people. And then, whether it's this company or that company, it doesn't matter. It's you've made yourself better, and that wins all day long, right? In any job.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. So, I mean, it's one thing to just start a company and start slinging product. That's great. But I would rather be in business with people that I care about and people that care about me and that they know what's happening. So if I know what's happening in your life, Kat, I can help you move through some junk, right? Or I can help some people on my team move through some junk so that they can get better and better at being who they are and what they want. Because it's not about me. The more we help others get what they want, the more likely we are going to get what we want. Correct. So if some of you are watching us and thinking, why are they doing this? Why are they doing fun fact? What's with the fun fact with Nick and Kat? What's that about? It's because we want to bring you value. We're not charging you for it. we want to bring you facts so that you can make some choices based on those facts.
Cool. You're awesome. I always love your props. So next week we're meeting me, which means no preparation. I'm just kidding. No, for next week, I've been doing research for like 2 weeks on how much payroll you make in the biggest company in the entire world versus how much we make in network marketing. And it's over 4 times as much. So you guys are going to want to hear this. It's like freaking cool.
Well, all right. So next week, well, get your seatbelts on for that one.
Research. So it's going to be fun. But this is so much fun with you. Oh my gosh. And I can't wait. I get to see you on Wednesday. Yay! Big hugs for the whole group.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on again today. And partnering with you is always so much fun. So if anyone has any questions about what Kat and I do, if you're friends with Kat, reach out to her and ask her about her side hustle and what it is that really gets her going and why she does it. And if it's of interest to you, then I just suggest that you jump in with both feet, and then we'll guide you from there. Likewise, if you're friends of mine, send us a private message. Information does not kill you, as it turns out. Yes. So if you want some information about what we're doing, we'd be happy to share, because it's not just a cool product or something that's good for your soul, good for your body, all those things which you've heard us talk about. But it's more so about this personal development. It's more about the commitment, the culture, and
the teamwork.
I forgot the other T. I forgot the other T.
Collaboration.
Collaboration, yes.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Like a point to make too is if it doesn't matter if you may already have a side hustle, we still want to meet you anyway, because we like to buy products from people who have side hustles. We like to keep all in the fold and then help each other with personal development. So
absolutely.
Give us a shout. We love to chat.
All right. All right. Thanks, Kat. Talk to you soon.
Saturday. Okay,
you
bye.
You too, girlfriend. Bye.